We will reveal the name of the cactus in this video, and one of you will be winning a deck of cohorts. In this trick, your spectator can take a deck of cards and shuffle them up to their heart's content. They can be in any order at all. Mr. Potato Head, are you happy with the order of the cards? This is very important. I'll take that as a yes. With the card box away, we now take the top two playing cards and we show them to be the Five of Hearts and the Queen of Clubs. Are you happy with those cards? This is really important because it's my video and you're sort of making me look bad, mate. Like, come on, just play along. Okay, right, so he's happy with the Five of Hearts and the Queen of Clubs. What I can now do is turn over the Five of Hearts, as you can see. I push it towards the spectator and he can stand on the card if he wants to. I now take the Queen of Clubs and visually change it into the Five of Hearts. But if the Five of Hearts is here, then the card that the spectator is standing on must also have changed. And so I allow him to turn over the card. Or I can, turn it over for him and reveal it to be the Queen of Clubs. And the best part of this trick is that both cards are completely examinable. There are so many reasons that I love the trick that I'm going to be teaching you in today's video, and the first of those is that it uses a borrowed shuffled deck of cards. Now obviously a lot of the times I perform, spectators don't tend to have their own cards, so if you can't borrow a deck you can definitely let the spectator shuffle. As I do at the start of most of my tricks, I allow the spectator to shuffle the deck, and you explain that it doesn't matter which one of the cards they pick, because ultimately it doesn't actually matter which of the cards are used. So you take the deck after it has been shuffled and you explain that you're going to pick the top two cards, and so you show them the two cards that you're going to use are the Five of Hearts and the Queen of Clubs. And at this point actually you don't need to use the rest of the deck, so we will just use the Five of Hearts and the Queen of Clubs, and I can show you this up front. At this point what you can do is you can turn over the 5 and you can show the Queen like so. And in fact what we'll do is we'll put the 5 in our little cactus friend here. Hopefully it can hold on to that. And with the Queen we simply take it and we can change the Queen instantly into the Five of Hearts. I did a little visual version here for the camera, but there are so many colour changes you can use in person. So, with the Five of Hearts over here, that means that the card that our cactus spectator here is holding on to must somehow be now the Queen of Clubs, but that doesn't make any sense, so let's see if it is the Queen of Clubs, and you can see it absolutely is. The two cards have changed places. I love this trick. The cards end completely examinable, and although this trick is a little bit difficult to do on camera, as you can see I adapted it for the camera. You can do a visual change if you're doing it on camera, and you can even use editing if you want to make this trick even better. But as you can see, this trick works in person. It's a perfect transposition. Another reason I love this trick is that there are so many different techniques going on here. There are so many different things. There's a force happening, obviously, with the two cards. There are gaff cards used, which I'm not afraid to use. I think that you should always use the best method. You shouldn't just limit yourself to sleight of hand or just limit yourself to gimmicks. It should be picking and choosing whichever method is best, whichever works in that situation. It is such a worker. It's actually really easy to do, and you will really enjoy performing this as much as I do. So I'm very happy to share with you perfect transposition. Let's dive right into it. One of the fairest things is, of course, being able to shuffle the deck. I love that. When a spectator can have the cards in their control, shuffle them in any order that they want, I think that's a really powerful thing. And if you're not doing that already in your tricks, then you should, even if it means a little bit of extra work. And in this case, it does mean a little bit of extra work because we're going to be using a deck switch. Don't be afraid of deck switches. Some people are afraid of them, and you really shouldn't be, because deck switches can create some really powerful magic. And if, you know, I have to use a deck switch in order to make this trick more powerful, I will. I'm not scared of that. So the deck switch I'm going to be using is, of course, the Vital deck switch, which is my deck switch. I've taught it on YouTube, so if you don't know the Vital deck switch and you want to perform this trick in its entirety as I do it, then you'll have to go and see the Vital deck switch. It is CVN episode 1, it will be linked down below in the description, but you can also find it on YouTube in the tutorial section. It uses a card box, and I'm not going to explain the full deck switch in this video, but you will sort of see it, so don't see it and then half learn it from this video. In order to perform this deck switch, you need to see the full video because there's a lot of advice I go over there. If you've not seen this before, I will just quickly demonstrate it. Magicians really love seeing this deck switch. They think that it's, you know, really satisfying, and it's one of those where it's like, how can I not think of that? Yeah, so you get the deck into position after they have just shuffled it. So I take the cards back from my spectator and I simply place the card box away, and the deck is now completely switched. And with that, you can now take this deck, which they believe to be the one that you just shuffled, and you can perform this trick. And the setup on the deck is very, very important, so let's go over that. In order to set up the deck to perform this perfect transpo trick, the order of the cards does not matter. So this, without the setup done to it, is a normal deck. And again, if you don't want to do the deck switch, you can, if you want, quickly do this setup to it and then do the trick without the shuffling bit beforehand, and you can't obviously have the spectators examine the cards. So if you want to just dive in the trick at this point, that's fine. What you are going to need in order to set this trick up is you're going to need a double backer. You're going to need a double backer. You're going to also need a double facer, and this is a double facer of the Queen of Clubs and the Five of Hearts. And if you don't know where to get double backers and double facers, simply search for them in any good magic shop on their website. They will be sure to have decks of double backers and double facers. Really important that you don't accidentally buy double facers that are the same card on both sides of the card. You want them to be 2 cards. And for this, choose 2 cards that are really different. In this case, we've got, I said place then. In this case, we've got a black face card and we've got a red number card, so you can't really get any more different than that. So double backer and double facer, and then 2 cards that are going to match the double facer cards, but these are 2 separate ordinary cards. So with your 4 cards, you're now going to set them up on the deck in the correct way. And it's really important that every time you set up a deck to do this, that you do it correctly, because with double faces and so on, it can get very confusing which card is which, because they're just so bizarre. We've got the double facer, double backer, you know, don't get them the wrong way around, please. Just check, just make sure before every performance. The reason I'm saying that is because, yes, one time I set up the deck and I thought I'd done it correctly and I'd got the double facer mixed up for one of the ordinary cards because I just didn't do that half-second check of turning it over. So yeah, that was a stupid mistake, but I learned from that. Don't do my mistake. Make sure to check both sides of the cards. Okay, I don't know why I did a little dance for that, but you know what? I'm going with it. So we'll put the double facer to one side for now, and the double backer. And what we're going to do is take the Five of Hearts, and if you're using the same cards, follow along, but if not, you know, use your card. Make sure it's an ordinary one, and you are going to take half the deck and turn it round. So you're going to turn around half the deck. That is very important because that is going to allow you to do a switch. So you're going to put the Five of Hearts face up on top of one of the halves. Then you're going to turn the whole deck over and all the other cards are going to go here in a very specific order. So you're now going to take your double backer and you're going to place it down. You're going to take your double facer, this one, here it is, and you are going to place that down here and that here. Obviously this is the Queen of Clubs, the ordinary one, just to make sure. This is the double facer, the next one down, and then down from that is the double backer. So double backer, double facer, normal card. And all of this is now going to be turned over. So they're face down, you've now got the double backer on top, on the bottom of the deck, the 5 of hearts, and then all of the face down cards here, yeah? And when you turn it over, that's the setup here. Okay, a little bit complicated, but hopefully you are with me. Okay, so now that the deck is set up, it's time to get into the performance and how to actually do the transposition. There are quite a few moves, quite a few steps, but hopefully these are all steps that you should know and be able to follow along with. So, you take the deck back, it's been shuffled, you execute the switch, you now have this. Make sure the deck is the right way up. The reason I use the vital deck switch is because I know 100% which way round the deck is going to be when I do that, because I lift off the shell and I know that the deck is the right way around now. Obviously I can't spread because I will spread to this one, and then if I keep spreading I'll spread to the face up section on the bottom, which should be about half the deck. So you can't spread them, but what you can do is you can riffle, and you can riffle until you get a triple break. And the way that I do that, if I show you from this side as if you were me, is I riffle up and I stop on those last 3 cards. I get my pinky break, I'm now ready to perform. I come across with my other hand and I turn all these cards over so that I now display the cards that I need. What this also allows me to do is take off that top one, which is going to be completely normal, and then take off the double, and I can show front and back of these 2 cards. So this right here, if I put away the cards to just show you, this right here, this one's a normal one, but this one is actually a double of the double facer showing the 5 squared up next to the double backer. So I can show front and back of these cards, and that is a real convincer. Now I'm not going to do a really obvious thing and go, look, front and back, they're normal, because by saying that, that's putting in the spectator's head the idea that not all cards might be normal on the front and the back. If you say, look, they're normal on the front and the back, they weren't doubting that before, so don't say it, don't bring it up, because then they'll start to be suspicious. If you just show, like this, if you just go, look. Later on, the audience might remember this moment and they might think, but the cards couldn't have been weird gimmicked cards because he showed us really clearly the 2 cards, so there weren't any extra cards, there was nothing like that. At this point, there are 2 things you can do. If you're holding the deck, the really easy thing to do is put all 3 cards here on the deck and then just take off the 2 you need, and you've ditched the double backer. Or, if you're feeling slightly fancier, you can somehow ditch this using a bit of sleight of hand. I don't sort of feel the need for that, but you can get this into a little sort of palm like that, and you can deal off these 2. That goes to the pocket. It just feels like a little bit unnecessary that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you know, displaying the 2 cards like this, coming to the deck, dropping off the double backer, and then dealing off the 2 you need. At that point then you can put down the deck. In fact, we'll use a table just to make it even more realistic. You can put down the deck like so. Drag this forward. You can put down the deck and just leave it there, and that'll be fine. So now you've got these 2 cards, and you can display them like so. You can say that you've got the 5 and the Queen. At this point, you're now going to do the move that is going to be responsible for the transpo. The move looks like this, and it's just a quick move. And when you look at this move, when you stare at it, sorry, I'm very zoomed in now. When you look at this move and you stare at it, it makes no sense at all, because it makes no sense how 1 card is turned over. But in the moment, in the beats and the moves of this trick, this bit is not the trick. This is not the trick, this is to get to the trick. This is a move to get to the trick. In your audience's mind, this is not an essential part of the trick. So yes, it makes no sense doing that and having a card turned over. But remember what move you're simulating. You're simulating turning 1 card over. So you've got your 2 hands, 1 stays face up, 1 goes face down. And it's just a small moment, it's tiny, it happens a fraction of a second. No one has ever spotted this move. No one has ever spotted this move. It's just a quick thing, it just happens. People use this all the time in 3-card Monte, 2-card Monte, whatever, and it goes completely under the radar, so you don't need to worry about it. You just need to remember that you've got the double facer on the bottom here when you do this, and as you turn the cards over, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be just moving with your fingers the 2 cards like that. So when you do them together, those 2 moves, so this move and this move, when you do them together, it's like that. So you start with two hands, you can even pause here and then you can go forwards, or you can do that. That makes a little less sense to me because the card is turning over without both your hands there, so what I prefer to do is just that and then there. It's just a beat. So the timing is just to here, to me, to you, and we're all done. Okay, so once you've placed the card in their hand, you can get them to put a finger on it, you can get them to do whatever. You now have the Queen of Clubs here, so we will imagine that Mr. Potato Head is holding onto the card, it's under his foot. So he holds on to what he believes is the Five of Hearts. There is no way he's not going to believe that it's the Five of Hearts, unless he's watching the trick from this angle, and then he'll know. Now you've got this card, and you can change this using whatever method you want. You can do that change. If you're feeling bold, you can do that change. You can do anything you want. The one that I did for the camera, I mean, I could have done the flick. Just for the camera, the one that I chose to do was just that one, because I think that's always great. It just fools people, especially when you come up and you go, look, like that. The magicians are going to be like, what? It's not a flap card. So yeah, you can change this card however you want. I'm not going to teach a colour change in this video. There's too much in this video already. So if you know a colour change, you can implement it at this point. The great thing is you can also give it one of these, just, you know, a little flourish, and that just adds a little extra bit of amazement. Nothing wrong with doing a flourish in a trick. And it also proves that it is just one card. There's not more than one card going on here. At this point, Mr. Potato Head and his friend, the as yet unnamed cactus, we will reveal the name of the cactus in this video, and one of you will be winning a deck of cohorts. These two are now going to be convinced that this card was still the Five of Hearts, but now they can see the Five of Hearts in my hand. They turn it over. They're going to freak the hell out when they see that they are holding the Queen of Clubs. And the great part about this is, as this is happening, as they are about to turn this card over, there is nothing wrong with adding a bit of drama into this. There is nothing wrong with building the suspense just a little bit and just having the attention drawn to this and just recapping for a second. I was holding the Queen, it changed to the 5. You were holding the 5. It would be impossible for me to change a card while you're holding it. You have now the Queen of Clubs, and that's a great moment. That's the end of the trick. And at that point you can hand both cards out for examination. What? You can hand both cards out for examination? No, you can't, Cavan. It's a double facer. Well, yes, you can, because while that was happening, while that little moment of magic is happening over here, no one, including you, well, obviously you won't because it's not in frame, but if you were here in the room, you wouldn't be looking at the deck. No one's looking at the deck. So that's when the switch comes into play, because this card that I was holding, that's now changed into the 5, goes on top of the deck, the way round I was holding it. And just by me doing that and then coming back to here, everything here is looking as it was, and yet the whole deck has turned from this point here, dropping that card on there. I just turn the deck round and I put it down. No one's going to notice that you've turned the deck over and it still looks the same. Why would anyone notice that? Don't think like a magician. You just get this great moment, and you're not going to say, look, and now you can see that the cards are normal once again. You're not going to do anything stupid like that. You can just simply say, the cards have changed, and now you may examine them. You may examine one each. There you go. Put it in your little... That's right. Oh, sorry about your glasses. Blimey, you've got a small head. This switch is one of my favourites because the entire focus of the trick will now be on this card, because that's the latest revelation. This is the last thing in the trick to happen that's interesting that they're going to want to examine, and because it's already in their hands, you can simply place the card that is dirty, in this case, down on the deck. And if you don't have a table to do that on, sorry, I'm looking at the screen, I nearly missed the table altogether then, what you can do is you can simply drop the deck to your side and just turn it over like this and bring it up, and you are clean. There are many ways to turn the deck over, I don't need to explain that. But what you're left at the end of that, a lot of moves happen, a lot of things happen really for such a small effect. You know, the size of this effect is small. It's an opener. It's just, you know, here are two cards, they swap. That's it. But in that, there are a lot of things going on for the size of it. But I do think that it pays off. So there we go. That is the perfect transposition. I'm really glad that I showed you this, and yeah, there we go. That is perfect transposition, a way of swapping two cards and having the deck shuffled beforehand, the cards shown front and back beforehand, and the cards examinable after the trick. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on for such a small trick, and I realise that some of you won't want to go through all the steps, and that's fine. The great thing about this is you can cut some of the bits that you don't like. If you don't want to have the cards examined at the end, you don't have to do the final switch. If you don't want to have the deck shuffled beforehand, you don't need to do the first deck switch, you really don't. It's just me sort of including more methods in one video to sort of give you guys more stuff in one video, more stuff to learn. With that being said, it is time to get into the giveaway. So one of you today is going to win a deck of cohorts. Where is it? Have I lost it? If I've lost it, I can't do the giveaway. Here it is, the deck of cohorts that someone is going to win, whoever named the cactus the best name. So the unnamed cactus is not going to be unnamed anymore. I'm going to christen it with a name right here, and the channel's pet is going to be with us always. There were a lot of good names, I'm not gonna lie. In the comments, I had a lot of fun, I laughed at a lot of names. You guys are a funny bunch, you came up with some good names. However, there was one winner, and I need to find out who it was that came up with this name, because it is a good one. So the entry that won came from Matthew Bay Magic, and his name really did make me laugh. And it's magic related, but it also is to do with cactuses. Cactuses? That's wrong. Cacti, sorry. And I thought the combination of the two was great. And so, I am very happy to introduce you to Sharpie the Cactus. This is Sharpie the Cactus. I thought that was great because magicians are always carrying around Sharpie, and I think it's very appropriate that a very sharp pet should be called Sharpie. So, hello Sharpie, welcome to the channel, welcome everyone. Welcome, say hello to Mr. Potato Head, Sharpie. I don't really know why I've got Mr. Potato Head in this video. I just found it and thought that'd be funny. So Matthew Bay, you have won a deck of cohorts. So Matthew, get in contact. Yeah, you've won the cohorts. Congratulations. And yeah, hello Sharpie. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, make sure to click the thumbs up button down below. That really helps me out. And if you're new and you've never seen a video from me, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this one. So you can feel free to join me on my video making journey by subscribing. Only if you want to though, it's completely up to you. And also thank you to everyone that has been joining the $5 Magic Club. There's a lot of stuff there on the $5 Club at the moment. I am making a lot of videos, you know, propless mentalism tutorials, sleight of hand tutorials. My book is also on Patreon. Yeah, load of great stuff. So if you feel like you want to join that as well, then feel free. Patreon.com/cavanbooth. That is the best way to help me out, and you get a load of great stuff as well. Yeah, thanks very much. And I also want to end this video just by saying that I hope you are all doing well. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world at the moment, what with this pandemic and everything. It can be a bit scary and confusing. I just hope that you're all doing well. Make sure to stay safe and do everything that you can to stay safe, and not just physically from the virus that is happening at the moment that's affecting a lot of people, but also stay safe up here. Make sure to look after yourself. I know if you're self-isolating because you are ill or someone in your household is ill, then that can be a bit lonely and a bit confusing. Luckily, magic is always here, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with. So learn some good magic while you are self-isolating, and make sure to stay in touch with people, you know, phones, email, whatever. Just make sure to look after yourselves. You know, I worry, I do. I don't know why, I just do. A lot of people that watch my videos are from Italy, and I know Italy's really hard affected at the moment. So my thoughts are going out for you, and I hope that you are doing okay. With all that being said, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.
I think you're gonna have to be, or you're gonna have to go.